Reintroducing to this. And now we're live.
We're live.
We are live.
We are live. Welcome to Spartanlifecoach question and answer session here at the Success4 Studios.
Oh,
there's a little delay there.
Carry on.
In Norwich, lovely Norwich, hot today, 22 degrees C, and in Fahrenheit that's 3027. So now you know. Screw you guys for not converting to Celsius like normal people. Do you use kilograms or do you use stone?
Stone.
Yeah, because you're English.
Yes, and I can't understand kilograms.
Yeah, everybody still uses stone. We use stones in England. American people don't know what that is, but like when in times gone by, when the enemy would approach the castle walls, we would fling stones at them to punish them. And now that's a measure of weight to be flung. When people want to lose weight, they lose stones.
Is that where it comes from?
No.
That's a very, very good analogy. The amount of stones I have to fling at you to knock you down is how much you weigh.
Exactly.
That could work.
That could totally work. That could totally be what it is, but it isn't.
No.
I don't know what the fuck it is. I use kilograms.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's because you're a gym person.
That's what it was. Is when I started using the gym more, and people had asked me, plus training in different places, people would say, well, what are you lifting? And I would say 3 stones and 2 pebbles and 1 groat. And they'd go, what the fuck is that? It's what's in the chalice from the palace. It just sounds like total gibberish in any other language. But yeah, kilograms is the way forward.
I never tell everyone what do you lift. I was
that thing
that needs lifting over there.
Yes.
That one.
Pick it up and put it back.
Up and back.
Up
and back. Bend your back, not your knees.
Absolutely.
Apparently.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
When you're lifting, bend your back, not your knees.
Oh, yeah. You want to put as much strain, particularly in the lower back, as possible. You want to get your lower back involved and twist in odd directions.
If you can. Yeah. Twist, cry, and then roll. Forward roll, preferably.
Twist, cry, forward roll. Twist, cry, forward roll. This is English PE. That's what we all chanted.
Yeah. Why did you have to do PE in your pants?
Did I have to do PE in my pants?
Yeah.
Is that what they told you, Richard? You had to do PE in your pants?
Everybody else was in their pants. Honestly?
What kind of an institute was this? A special one?
It's a pants one.
The
pants party.
The pants party.
Yeah.
The pants party of Norwich.
Yeah, I thought that's a no then.
Well, I mean, by pants, do you mean the American pants?
No, I mean the
English
British pants,
which is a thong.
No,
British children all wear thongs. British pants. That's your underwear, your undergarments.
Oh yeah, I thought we got Americans listening.
Tidy whities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you have to do. Yeah, we did our PE in our pants.
Wait, let's just be clear here. You did PE in your underwear.
Yeah.
No, I didn't do PE in my fucking underwear, and I think you were abused.
Didn't feel abused.
Well, I know that.
Although it's easier to do high jump
when the teacher is chasing you.
Yes. Well, it's much easier when the teacher's chasing you to jump. Well, that's a Norfolk thing then.
That must be a Norfolk thing.
We all did PE in our underpants. No, if anyone's listening to this, apologise. If anyone is listening to this and let's move on from underwear. Text Tweety says, well, just let us know. I don't want to. Yeah, PE is physical education, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Blue Crystal says, did you do PE in your underpants? Because apparently Richard didn't.
No.
But what? Why?
Why would I have shorts for doing it? For the love of God. Well, first of all, I was in Portugal for a lot of my childhood.
Oh, okay, were you?
So we would just like whatever sport. There wasn't a uniform. International schools that I went to, there would just be like whatever you would. It was everybody played sports, so whatever you do sport, and that's what you wore. So when I first went to a boarding school in England, down in Somerset, the first thing I had to do was turn up to a place that looked like Hogwarts and receive the uniform, which was a deeply traumatic experience because I was a very fashion conscious, very vain 12-year-old.
A 12-year-old?
Very vain. Very, very fashion conscious. And when they issued my uniform, which I love to swim, I was a good swimmer, and they were like, oh, we'll put you on the team. And they gave me Speedos to wear.
Yeah.
I nearly cried. I was like, I'm not competing in this. Like, bloody well will. Put on your Speedo trunks, boy. I was like, can't I have some long, like 1920s long undergarments? But no, they issued me with PE kit. And also then when I went to another school up in Bergenhead, we had PE kit. I think the only people who ever did it in their underwear, and this is the truth, were children who had forgotten to bring their PPEs, and it was a punitive thing. It was punishment to humiliate them for forgetting their stuff.
No, in my school they didn't get to wear any. The ones who forgot them.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Wowie.
No, I'm joking. So you weren't in England when you were a kid?
No.
So was your parents living there, or
no? They just sent me there to live in the woods.
Yeah.
They said, "Go and live in some woods in Portugal,
Richard.
you wretched boy."
Yeah.
No, it was during the timeshare boom in the 1980s, and my father was a salesman, and so we moved over there, and we lived for the first year. He was on a commission only thing, so we lived poor there for the first year in a little village, still there, called Porches, and then. Yeah, I was there from the age of 8, and then I think my family moved. Like every time I was at boarding school, I'd go back there. We left there when I was maybe 15, something like that. So a lot of my childhood memories are Portugal, but it was a very permissive environment where the boundaries between children and adults were very, very loose and porous. The boundaries between cultures were loose and porous, and I had a huge amount of freedom. And then I went to a very religious boarding school at age 13, and that was.
So how did you, go from one to extreme to another?
At first, I was absolutely miserable, and then when I realised that the boarding school environment operated on quite rigid rules, I fit in. Well, I dominated it. There was a game I could win. So like in the household I was raised in, there was a no-win game, no matter what you did. But I found that in institutions, it was easy to get a name and a reputation, and to figure out what there are rules that you must follow, and then there are rules that are kind of not really rules. I fell foul of it a few times. I was punished really, really severely because I didn't really know what the major taboos were. But if you were respectful and polite and funny in the English private school system, you can actually get away with a hell of a lot. And so I learned it, and then I had a great time. I was but after a year of being in there, I was doing great. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I didn't actually know that you were educated in a
proper an old-fashioned, gargoyled, Hogwarts-looking English boarding school. Yeah.
Because your accent drifts between a lot of different accents,
right?
I think naturally you do that a lot for comedic effect, but obviously you do it quite fluently as well.
Well, I think like one of the effects of CPTSD, especially if you've got a fawning response is a kind of negotiating response. So you can become like a bit of a social chameleon. Whatever environment you find yourself in, you can kind of adapt to it and just sort of fit in quite rapidly and feel fairly comfortable doing it as well. But no, the accent is a mess. It's probably Scouse. I probably have a soft, like in the world we have a soft Scouse accent. So that's my natural accent, but I have to clean it up because of Asia was really bad. Asia, the Malaysian ear cannot hear a Scouse accent.
Really?
Well, they speak English. So you go to Malaysia and they go, "We speak English one la, totally fluent English la," and I'll be like, "No, this is not English." But to them it is, and it's an official language. So they have BM. I can't remember what it's a Malaysian word that means basically Malaysian, which is based on Indonesian. They're pretty much indistinguishable. But the second official language that unifies all the ethnicities in Malaysia is English. So it's hard to explain this, like to people who've not been there. So it's in their system, it's in the school curriculum, and they really are quite defiant about it and totally unapologetic. They're like, "We are fluent in English and we are speaking English." And you're like, "Your English is really bad." And it really upsets them. They go, no, this is English. I've spoken to English teachers who speak like that, and they teach English like this, and you go, your accent is not there. No, this English, You go, but you can't. Yeah, you can't stop it. You can't change it. And they also, like, Scousers say la. They do the same thing
at the end.
Singaporeans will say, I mean la. It's a little bit longer.
It's a little bit longer.
But it's the same thing. So then when people would hear me say la, they'd be like, "Oh, you want to sound like Singapore, ah?" Or, no, like we own la. Scousers were saying la before you were saying la. But I think that's, it might be a Cantonese thing. It comes from, obviously, Singapore. There's a lot of Cantonese speakers there. So, the accent has to be cleaned up, because if you say things incorrectly with the wrong accent, they wouldn't figure it out. Water. Same in America. You go to Malaysia, you go to America and ask for water or cider. They'll be like, what? What? It's water. Warder. Like Mordor. Wardor.
Or wardrobe.
Or wardrobe. So in Malaysia, it's water. And then in America, as you know, order. Yeah.
I can just see there's so many questions coming on here. So, guys, thank you for sending your questions. We're all warmed up now.
Okay.
It's baking in here.
We're very warm, physically warm.
Physically and emotionally warmed up.
I have a light film of sweat growing on my forehead. It's starting at the bald patch.
You haven't got. You're supposed to have a bald patch on your forehead. If you've got a hairy forehead,
then you're from Norwich. Hey!
Eyebrows. Right, let's have a look. So, guys, yeah, please send in your questions. I will try and read out as many as
they don't all have to be serious.
They don't all have to be serious. They don't all have to be about personality disorders and narcissism,
terrible pain
and anguish. We're trying to bring a bit of light to your day, a bit of sunshine. So guys, please send in your questions. So I'm going to try and find some questions here. Let's have a look. So Joe Fisher asks, Sam Vaknin singing "I Want to Break Free" by Queen hoovering in his living room. That's not a question. That's like a
weird image. Sam Vaknin singing "I Want to Break Free" whilst hoovering his living room.
Yeah.
Thank you for putting that image in my head.
Thank you.
That goes straight to the spank bank. Think about that later.
I'm having that one as well. We'll share that. Yeah. He's got a great name, Sam
Vaknin.
Vaknin.
Yeah.
And if anyone who's watching this and doesn't know who that is, just a brief explanation who that is.
Sam Vaknin is the foremost authority on narcissistic personality disorder in the world. In my humble opinion, his work is often, people say, oh, there's no academic validity to it, but his work is frequently ripped off by the researchers. So the psychiatric community, the psychoanalytic community are very well aware of him and use a lot of his material.
Right.
So that's
I know he
is,
comes out and says that he's a narcissist, and he goes from that point of view.
Yeah, he's been diagnosed, I think, twice as a malignant narcissist, and at least once that I know of as being a psychopath, having full-blown.
You've done an interview with him, haven't you?
I've worked with him a few times, yeah.
Have you? So what's he like to work with?
Well, he is a narcissist and he is a psychopath, so it depends. Sometimes that particular personality disorder, it kind of functions as almost like a split personality or a dissociative identity. So it depends on which version of Sam you can get on any different day. He might be jovial and avuncular, or he might be a fucking walking nightmare.
Really?
Yeah. And that's the personality disorder. He's a really, really intelligent and educated guy who's done some pretty amazing things in his life that he's actually talking about at the moment. If you follow him on Instagram, which I recommend people do, some of the things that he's done, some of the things that he's seen, pretty remarkable. He's Israeli born. He was a physics genius, and I think his first physics paper was published when he was something like 16 years old. Very, very, very intelligent guy. Yeah, physics first, and then when it comes, he's a linguist, he's a historian. He knows he's been employed professionally as an economics advisor to several countries and governments over time. So yeah, really interesting guy.
Yeah, I've watched quite a few of his things as well. I mean, I spoke to Chris Godinez about him a few times, and she sort of recommended stuff.
Yeah.
Catherine Cody says, Richard, your videos on YouTube have helped me laugh in my tears.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that, Catherine.
I think there's a lot more humour needs to come across in some of this coaching stuff.
Yeah.
There is a big place for humour.
Definitely.
I always think that the word humour comes from humanity, and it's just something we all feel on a base level. We all feel that humour when we all laugh at the same things, and it takes you out of the moment or puts you in the moment. It depends what you want to.
Yeah, it can be a good palate cleanser. It can be a good refresher. Humor is always the clashing. There's nothing less funny than discussing humor. I remember Jimmy Carr saying this. There's nothing less funny than discussing the actual mechanics of humor. But it's the humor is always the clashing of two frames of reference that don't belong together. That's the payoff of the joke.
Yeah,
because you think you're in one frame of reality, and then the comedian goes, we were in this frame the whole time. And there is something in that is kind of enlightening and lightens the person up. And Richard Bandler has pointed out that seriousness the opposite of humor tends to lock problems in place, and humor tends to offer the brain, the unconscious, other options and to open up options of response.
I think it's really important as well, and I think that's why your stuff appeals to a lot of people, is the humor that you splice into it.
Yeah.
Because it's a heavy subject. So.
And most of the time they just simply have to endure it, waiting for me to say something that makes sense, that they can use. It's like another fucking stupid Russian accent, another fucking
This is Up Yours Narc 66 asks, Richard, you travel quite extensively. Do you keep a journal of your experiences?
No, I never have. Am I at that age yet? Is it pompous to start thinking about publishing memoirs?
I didn't think so.
Experiences?
Why not?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to do it.
Well, people are obviously interested.
Yeah, maybe. Would it include sexual experiences?
So, guys, if Richard brought out a book about his traveling and his experiences, and including sexual experiences, would you buy it? Give me a smiley face if you would.
Yeah, real and imagined sexual experiences.
Real and imagined.
Inclusive.
And also there will be a pop-up book
released
as well.
For the most bizarre, tentacle-themed sexual fantasies.
That's a lot of cardboard.
What the? My eyes!
Fire hazard. Let's have a look. So, I'm just going to scroll down here. Laughter is the best medicine. We've got some guys. So, guys, if you were also watching the live last night, let us know what you thought of the live last night on Richard's website. We did a live yesterday. Do you want to explain a little bit about what the live was?
Yes, we did a live session looking at the way that hypnosis and neurolinguistic programming can be used, particularly to heal CPTSD, and my particular way of doing NLP and hypnosis, which is a little bit different than the way it is traditionally done, with a specific focus on for clients and for coaches dealing with CPTSD.
And it went really well.
Yeah, people liked it. People liked it, which was cool.
And there'll be another live tonight.
There's another live tonight at 8 o'clock UK time. That will be done from the Success4 Studios, and we'll go for like an hour and 15 minutes and just field people's questions. So if you want to jump on that, you're more than welcome.
And they can ask questions on that. So I'm just going to Holy Shalito asks, how do you break the zombie witch doctor spell from a malignant narc?
Well, it's pretty important that, sorry to bang the same old drum, and it's the same old drum that all of your coaches in this field will be drumming, which is you need to diminish contact, or you need to go completely no contact, because any and all contact with a zombie witch doctor is an opportunity to further bind you with their dark magic spells. So you need to cut that off straight away. And if you can't cut it off completely, you need to diminish it to the smallest amount that you can. Then you need to start healing your own stuff, your own emotional flashbacks, your own attachment issues and codependency, which is more than likely going to be rooted in childhood trauma, but not always. And you're going to need to look at what it is you find attractive, what it is that turns you on, and what it is that keeps you in a relationship. And you're going to end up having to do a complete philosophical spring clean and an overhaul of your view of reality. And you're going to need to redefine love for yourself, and to reestablish some fresh boundaries so that it doesn't happen again in the future. You will not heal while you don't feel safe. Safety is a key word for the unconscious. You'll never do anything that makes you feel truly unsafe, and you'll always lean towards the things that make you feel safer, even if logically you know that these are things that will kill you eventually. So what it takes to make you feel secure and safe will need to be redefined as well.
I don't give people a bit of a context. They're not interested in me so much, but a bit of a context of why we're here doing this. I found Richard's work a couple of years ago through a abusive relationship with a borderline, and that's how I found Richard's work. And we worked on a few podcasts, and I think probably about 8-9 months ago we did our first podcast together. And now you come down to some video where we've got to know each other a lot better. But Richard's work really was the one thing that helped me understand, because I had no idea of personality disorder. I was told by this person I have borderline personality disorder. I genuinely thought that was someone who was a bit sad, then a bit happy, then a bit sad, and a bit happy. That was my genuine thought. I very quickly found out that wasn't, but only through work. My friend Mike pointed me towards your work, and it has helped so much to understand, but also understand why I was letting myself these things repeatedly happen.
Yeah.
So not having contact with these people, and it's funny having Danny here because Danny knows the person as well. Me and Danny knew these people, and he was a little bit involved with some of the things that went on there, and it was bizarre.
Yeah.
But to know that you're not going crazy was fundamentally a massive thing, because I was saturated at work with these people surrounding me.
Yeah.
And you felt like you were going mad.
Yes,
absolutely mad. And the reason why I brought Danny on to do the film work, because I know I can trust him to come in and do this. One, he's got all the skills we need anyway. We've known each other for a long time, but mostly because you can trust. I don't trust people as well as I used to now. Sure. I'm very closed off compared to what I used to.
Yeah.
So, sorry if I'm pronouncing these names wrong. Cantadine, sweet film. Yeah. Oh, I can't pronounce her name. I'm really sorry. But he asks, why do siblings not believe you when you explain CPTSD? And that's what I was getting to. It's a segue there.
There's a segue there. I don't know why your siblings don't believe you when you explain CPTSD. Maybe you're not explaining it right, or maybe they just don't want to hear you. Sounds like a situation, a question that's very, very specific to your situation that would be hard to answer without knowing you and knowing more about what's going on. But yeah, CPTSD is not the easiest thing in the world to describe. I describe things for a living, and I find it a challenge. It takes me a good 4 or 5 minutes to convey the basics of it, which is a very, very long time for me. So yeah, maybe you're not describing it right, or maybe they just don't want to listen to your side of the story.
Yeah, it's really hard to explain. I found it harder to explain to an older generation, but haven't got a grasp of mental health in any way, shape, or form. My parents, to be specific, they wouldn't really understand that, and it's not an ignorant thing. They just don't get it.
Baby boomers, they're psychopaths in the core of their being, and they don't care. They have no compassion, no empathy. Jokes.
Temper Tantrum asks, what's your honest opinion about cold therapy?
I was lucky enough to be able to speak to Sam. Sam has created something called cold therapy at length in a cafe in London. The conversation went on for about 3 hours, and obviously he couldn't tell me exactly everything that goes on with cold therapy. Because he wants to protect it. He's been working on it for a very long time, and he rightly wants to protect it, and he only wants it to be conveyed in a way in which he's in control of. But I'm sure he'd be happy or comfortable with me saying this much. It was remarkable to find that the kinds of directions he was moving in that would offer therapy to people who have NPD mirrored exactly the kinds of therapeutic solutions I'd developed to help people on the other side of the equation, which was the fawning codependent. So there was like this mirror image of drawing people out of delusion back to reality, which is what codependents need, whether they are predatory or whether they are more prey-like. They need to be brought back to reality, out of the delusion that their trauma has forced them to live inside of. And so the therapeutic process was like cold therapy starts here and goes here and goes here. And in my head, I was going, fucking hell, this is what I do with people. This is what I do with people. This is what I do with people. So it's like a mirror image. So if, to the extent that NPD can be cured, or we can get a foothold in helping people, I think the way that Sam develops, if anybody can develop something that would help people with highly narcissistic traits or full-blown NPD, it would be Sam. Anticool 23 asks, what is a normal emotion? What is normal emotional stability? What is normal? What is the taste of normal? I mean, that's in itself is quite. It tastes like blue tack. It's been left on a radiator for 2 hours in the winter time in 1981. You know, if you can't imagine that, I can't help you. No. That's exactly tastes like a drawing pin dropped down the back of a sofa that's got slightly wedged inside a What's It. Inside a What's It. Yeah. Generation X. Have you ever found a crisp down the back of your sofa and thought, might have that? I don't know. Like crisps, after a certain amount of time, they cease to be crisp, don't they? They become softs. No longer the essence of what they are changes. Maybe Walker's softs.
Soft.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
I wouldn't mind that.
Gentle. It's like the Schrodinger's cat of savory snacks. I mean, when you go down the back of the sofa in one version of reality, it's still crisp because of the vacuum that was created. But in another, it's actually gone soft.
Yeah.
Schrodinger's crisp. Quantum physics. That's what I'm talking about, homie.
Guys, we've gone that deep. We've gone all the way down the back of the sofa deep on that one. Yeah.
I'm not even sorry. I mean, I seek to be the English Joe Rogan ultimately. So I think that this is the kind of, I need to go there with people about crisps. Chips. See, Americans, they don't even have crisps.
So what are they called? Chips?
Well,
Fries.
how do they expect to have a civilization when they call crisps chips
and chips fries? So what happens when you...
It's a place of decadence and moral corruption, Richard.
What do they call a frying pan?
Who cares? They're doomed. Unless they sort out this issue of crisps.
Sort it out. Kettle chips? Have you ever tried to put a bunch of Doritos in a kettle?
You shouldn't do that.
Shouldn't do that.
Bloody uncivilized is what it is.
Yeah.
A frying pan in America is called a frying pan.
Is it? Well, some of them, it's like hit and miss.
Well, maybe in some states it would be a skillet.
I thought that was the thing you have on the end of your sword.
A skillet, yeah.
Is that what it is?
A skillet for a willet. Which is what
we invented the skillet.
You invented the skillet. The willets invented the skillets.
Yeah, we didn't know what it was for. Just thought that rhymes.
So you just popped it on the end of your sword?
Thought, keep it there.
Keep it there.
That was the place that we kept it. It wasn't supposed to be there.
Like a sword nubbin.
Yeah, that's what we thought. We thought our sword keeps slipping down and stabbing us in our tiny feet. How are we going to stop this? How are we going to stop this? We need a skillet. And that's what we did. Yeah. No more stabbing of the feet. No.
Precious feet.
But that's how we invented the tripod.
Right.
One of our willets got wedged up a hill with its skillet wedged behind it, thus creating the two-legged tripod at the front, the long bit at the back.
I am very aroused right now. And I'm not sure why. No. I think you took my hypnosis course a little too far to heart last night. And now...
Yeah, I'm doing all right.
There's an Idris Elba film about African warlords. I can't remember what it's called, but there's a character in that who's a soldier who fights naked, and they call him Tripod.
Do they?
Yeah.
He fights naked?
Yeah, honestly, you don't ever want to watch
I don't want to watch that. What's it called, sorry?
I can't remember. Idris Elba's in it. You never want to see Tripod running into battle. I can only hope that that's a prosthetic that they used. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm just at the game.
Did you watch it all?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, it was really, really upsetting.
He was just naked all the way through it?
The entire film. I mean, it's not a film about Tripod. He's a bit part character. He spits out.
Good.
Anyway, next question.
Yes. Okay. Rockin' Roberta, great name. That's really good.
Hi, Roberta.
Hi, Roberta. It's weird. They are attracted, but they disappear early. I attract psychopaths, she says.
She said they attract early. Sorry,
it's weird. They are attracted, but they disappear early. I attract psychopaths.
I mean, the disappearing early can be once they've gotten what they want. You know, they will be off ski, or if you uncover them and you show that you know what they are, they will just they'll discard you because they can't draw any more supply from you, so they'll disappear. They'll be in the wind.
Gone with the wind.
Indeed.
The lady that I was with, she said to me in the car once, she said to me, I've lost my train of thought now. Yeah. She said to me, "Oh, I'm an incredible actress." Like deadpan. Yeah.
She kind of warned you.
I'm a very good actress. And I was like, I've never seen her act in anything.
Right.
Ever.
Except in life.
In life. And I think I don't understand what she was trying to say, but she was egging me on to say something. She was always doing weird stuff like that, egging me on.
Pushing you and provoking you. Reaction-seeking communication, I would call that. I mean, it's very, very common in narcissistically abusive relationships for the cluster B personality to warn you up front. To be like, I am the devil. Here are my horns. Here is my trident. May I come in? And we go, yes, of course you can. It can't be that bad.
Well, but you don't believe it. You don't believe it. You don't believe people have got that time in the day to bother being that bad. Because it's just so odd. And it's exhausting.
But you learned the hard way, didn't you, Clarice?
I learned the hard way around the back way. She was awful.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I knew straight away. It didn't take long to understand there was something wrongly. I just didn't understand what it was.
How long into the relationship was it before you were like, "Ooh, there's something really up here"?
3-4 weeks.
Right.
Wasn't very long.
And then how long did you stay with her after that?
8 months. 8 glorious months.
Oh, happy days.
Yeah, they weren't. Prague was nice.
Lovely city.
Yeah, Prague was nice. It was a lovely city. Yeah. Great beer. Yeah, great beer at Prague. Did enjoy Prague. That was odd as well, because all she did was talk about how it was much nicer to be there with me than her ex. So like, well, this is beautiful. This is wonderful.
She was reminding you constantly that she was there with her ex before you.
No, she wasn't, but she's saying it was much nicer to be there with me than her.
I see.
It seems to get a conversation about. He seemed like a nice guy, to be fair. Fair play to you.
Yeah,
I like Prague. Definitely go back.
I would.
Roined Prague. Roined my loin.
You've been roining Prague, have you?
Yes.
Dirty man.
Let's have a look at some questions, because. So, guys, all of these don't have to be our personality disorders, by the way. You can ask about Richard's new T-shirt.
Yeah,
his haircut. What is that? It's a Baphomet, isn't it?
It looks like a Baphomet. This is actually, I wanted to get a T-shirt like this designed. There's somebody in my extended family who's a very good artist, and this was actually kind of what I had in mind for her to draw for me. Maybe a little bit nastier, a bit more dirty looking, but a scapegoat. Scapegoat head.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
So
you could have that. What is that for? Something to do with merchandise for Spartanlifecoach?
Yeah, it could be. Maybe.
They want you guys. I know you guys want to have a merchandise. People have been sending you T-shirt ideas in, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. Some of them really, really odd. And some of them I maybe would look at. I don't want to get into the T-shirt game for profit though. So it would be like I would just put it on one of those sites that does it. And either we would have like $1 from everyone goes to a mental health charity or something.
That would be good.
Otherwise, the site just takes the money because they're just printing them one by one rather than me making a load. I would rather do it that way. Finance, money, it's a corrupting influence.
It is a corrupting influence
with the cash.
Careful with your cash. Tricia Winters asks, what is your take on NPD with Munchausen syndrome?
Interesting question, Tricia. Probably you're asking this about NPD as it applies with Munchausen's. Excuse me. Oh, sorry, I was going to go into Munchausen's by proxy.
So yeah, Munchausen by proxy is the child?
As the child.
Yeah.
So you mean Munchausen's...
From the adult?
Well, I mean, according to Sam Vaknin, this is common, like hypochondria, having frequent bizarre and unusual and rare diseases and rare illnesses apparently is very, very common. With the NPD, I've found it to be true in a couple of the cases that I've had personal experience with. There's always something physically wrong with them. And this is part of what makes them special and part of what keeps narcissistic supply flowing in the right direction towards rather than away from them.
Can you explain quickly what Munchausen syndrome is?
Munchausen syndrome, I think is hypochondria. You just think that you have everything going. I'm not sure that Munchausen syndrome doesn't also imply that you fake illnesses.
I think Eminem said his mum had Munchausen syndrome and she made him seem that he was ill when he wasn't, for her to get attention.
That's proxy, isn't it? Munchausen's by proxy. So I think in order for it to be true Munchausen, I think you have to fake symptoms as well.
Okay.
Or fake an illness.
Yeah. Just
make it up. So I think that's
so that could have quite a bit of histrionic in it.
Histrionic, borderline, if there's more of a sort of a passive self-victimizing view, maybe more of a borderline-y covert narcissistic feel to it, could be histrionic, could be somatic because it's body focused. There's a lot of reasons why somebody with a cluster B might show up with hypochondria and Munchausen's.
It's histrionic is a funny one, isn't it? You want to explain what that is?
It's not very politically correct,
Is it?
No, well, histrionic comes from the histrionic and hysteria have the same etymological root, which is the hysterium, which is a womb. So histrionic is directly referencing a womb.
Okay.
And it comes from an old notion from ancient times. Hysteria.
Yeah.
They ancient Greeks believed that when women became hysterical, that was literally their womb bouncing around inside their body, making them go mad.
And who were we to argue?
They were wise men. And this is the day that Spartanlifecoach got shut down by SJWs and the radical left. I knew he was a misogynist.
You're saying that it wasn't, you're mockingly saying that obviously that's not true.
I don't think there's much evidence for it. But, the idea that there's something intrinsically
crazy about women, and that it's related to the sex. Their biological sex has been around for a long time, and so a lot of the psychiatric terms are a little bit out of date. I'm not of the radical left. I'm not an SJW, but did study a bit of postmodernism, and there are some things that could do with just being cleaned up in psychology and psychiatry.
So Hermit Elf, great name again. Now he wants a scapegoat t-shirt. I think you're onto something here. Let's get these scapegoat t-shirts.
He wants one?
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah, okay. I'll get my, she's kind of like, she's non-blood, but she's a cousin. She's a very, very skilled artist, and I will Facebook her afterwards to get her to do me something.
Spartanlifecoach, scapegoat.
I don't know if it would say Spartanlifecoach. Maybe. If it said it subtly and you could hide it in the background.
Within the actual
I'm thinking
design.
like, the old Affliction style designs. So everything is frayed and battered looking, and I'll try and get her to do something like that.
That would be good. We'd get one. I'd have one.
You'd have one.
You got it in extra small. I like one tight.
Yeah.
I do like.
Well, I like them on tight on you.
Yeah.
That's what I like. Let's talk about that for a minute.
Have you ever got
get the aircon on ultra high
so the
nipples get hard?
Yeah. Have you ever been in the gym and got out of the gym
and had hard nipples?
Yeah.
Oh yes, every time. Go on, sorry.
I've only been working on the nipples. I didn't do. What have you been doing today? Just nipples.
Actually, the last 2 times I went to the gym, there's a true story. I had 2 vests that I bought. I just randomly bought them as I'm traveling around, and they're grey.
Yeah.
And your nipples don't sweat, so I would end up like after 40 minutes of training with a damp, wet grey
with just 2 holes.
So I'm like taking the edges and rubbing it all over my chest
to even it out.
To even out.
That's good.
So embarrassing.
Yeah.
So in the end, I just owned it. I just cut holes, poked my nipples through. I'm like, what? What are you looking at me for?
We're in the gym. We're in here to work.
We're in here to train.
Yeah.
Why are you looking at my nipple holes?
Weirdos. Why?
Yeah.
I squashed them up against the window or the mirror. It's up to me. I paid my membership.
Just smearing my nipple. Right, my name.
I should manage to put the whole of Spartanlifecoach, all the letters,
with my nipple sweat.
Yeah, that would be a good promo video. So if anyone wants you to do that, we could do that. Me and Danny could shoot that, couldn't we, Danny?
Yeah, you lads are up for that, aren't you?
We could do that.
Should we do that at the Norwich boxing gym and see if we get out of there alive?
You could do it, but the problem is it'll go backwards. You'd have to spell it backwards.
Oh, I can do that.
Yeah, you can spell Spartanlifecoach with your nipples backwards, couldn't you?
Totes.
Yeah, you can't. You can't. Let's have a look at some more. Romans Suck from Nikki Nightingale. I've never met a Roman.
I actually met a Roman in a bar a couple of weeks ago.
Did he suck?
She was a lovely lady, very pretty.
Same question.
Did she suck? Same question. Fired right back. Sadly, no.
Right. Pippi Elvis. Your names are really hard for me to say. I'm from Norfolk. We can get these 3 syllables. Give us a chance. Pippi. I'm going to go with Pippi here. Bernstein. My womb is shaking right now. That face. Anyone, Nikki D, anyone had their food poisoned?
Oh, right. Yeah, this is the thing where the psychopaths. But I mean, it's interesting that.
I'm glad you got that because I didn't know what that meant. I get it. I've never had. She didn't poison my food. She poisoned my soul.
My soul was poisoned.
Yeah, she did.
It's a common enough thing, and I think it's almost metaphorical. It's almost symbolic. Actually poisoning somebody's food, but they kind of do poison your soul, and it's a slow drip effect over time where you can turn up with all kinds of weird illnesses because you were literally being poisoned. And I think if you poison somebody metaphorically, if you poison the body at the soul level, you'll manifest physical symptoms for sure. Anyway.
Nikki Lee asks,
Nikki Lee.
I see Nikki Lee a lot.
Hi, Nikki Lee.
Yeah, I think she's one of your regular viewers. Hi, Nikki Lee. Richard, will you? I'm assuming it's this Richard.
Well, who knows?
I very much doubt it.
We can cross talk.
How can you cross talk?
Yeah.
It's like a sword fight.
Like a sword fight.
Nikki Lee, Richard, will you please do AMSR for me? What's AMSR?
AMSR is when you speak in a weird, whispery voice.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, you do it.
AMSR.
Well, you make your S's more sibilant and just
AMS. Why'd you do that?
People like this shit. You got like 20 million views on a video. Well, whisper. I'll see.
From that.
AMSR.
This is bizarre.
Yes, bring it down.
I've got a very high threshold for uncomfortableness, but
do you?
Yeah.
Let's lock eyes.
Yeah.
come on, this is really the way.
Is this to do with hypnotherapy?
No, you'd think so, wouldn't you? But it's like a thing where people, you've got a good 45 minutes of weirdness on YouTube to watch. There's millions of views, and I think it's slightly sexual for some people, where the people listening to it, they can only go asleep, or they say they can only have relief from their psychosomatic pain through plugging into the speakers, and then somebody speaking to them.
Would that hark back to your mum?
Must be.
When you're younger.
And you're very, very close to them, and you would hear them at that range, and it's soothing and pleasant. Well, to me,
it creeps me out. Yeah, because that creep you out, Danny.
Oh, you've got speakers in, but
that's what I'm saying.
All this,
right into Danny's ears.
Does it tingle you? Okay, so for them, some of them they claim orgasm from it.
Really?
That's what they're claiming. So they're like,
well, that's a lot easier than the usual way.
Oh God, yeah.
It's a lot less time consuming.
Just whisper in my ears. It's that easy.
Put the kettle on.
That's good.
Yeah.
Put the you have to really the consonants.
The
kettle.
Put the kettle on.
Put it on.
Boiling hot water.
So whisper a bit more. Boiling hot water.
I'm just going to look at these. Oh dear.
Everybody's freaking out.
You're welcome, everyone. Nicky Lee said. Well done, Nicky Lee. I think you should have your own channel. So you can just package this. So
the last one I saw was a woman who was pretending to be a nurse, and she goes through this thing where she talks to the camera, and it's like she's pretending you're there, and she checks your ears. She's like, I'm just going to check your ears now. And reaches towards the camera and pretends. So people are sat there like googly-eyed watching YouTube. I mean, it's kind of sad in a way, because I think it's an indicator of how disconnected we've become from each other.
It's a bit bizarre.
Yeah, not receiving human contact, not receiving attention from other humans. I think it's just creating this huge wellspring of thirst. How can you have a wellspring of thirst? You can. I just decided. A stream of thirstiness.
Blue Crystal says the hospital poisoned my oatmeal.
God damn those bastards.
The hospital is the last thing you expect.
God damn those bastards to hell.
Yeah.
I hope it was not purposeful. I mean, I try to stay out of hospitals as much as I can, because that's where they stick all of the sick people and all of the sick things.
What a silly idea.
Seems like a bad idea.
I'm really ill. That's okay. Just go in that room with the other ill people.
Just breathe the air of the other ill people.
Yeah.
One of my friends got very sick in Malaysia, and they thought that he either had malaria or some other airborne disease that would kill him. So they put him in a special unit in the Kuala Lumpur hospital, and it was called, what do you call it, where you stick somebody in isolation?
Isolation?
No.
Prison?
No. When somebody has a disease and you isolate them.
What's it called? Right, anyone help us out.
Somebody write the answer to that.
It's
medical isolation, so that nobody else gets infected.
Come up with a new term.
So they basically put a curtain around him, and the hospital quarantine. Thank you.
Yeah.
And they put a curtain around him, and there was a cat walking in his ward.
Really?
And I was like, oh, so this is quarantine. So when he went, yes, just go down there, then you go left one, and then you are there already. And I went, it's quarantine. Yes. And I was like, you've not checked me or anything.
Yeah.
I just walked into quarantine. I was just in on a bed. As it was, he was sleeping so little and working so hard. So he'd train with me at night. He'd run 2 boot camps in the morning, never drank water.
God.
And this is in Malaysia.
So it's like delirium.
Yeah. And his what happened was his white blood cells got so low from the exhaustion that this has to be malaria or some of the disease that you're going to die from. Just exhaustion in the end.
There's a cat in there.
There's a cat just walking through the Kuala Lumpur hospital, yeah. It's like the hospital cat. Maybe they have a few.
Maybe it's like a blind dog. Do you know when I was young, it's got a job? I love it when animals get jobs.
That's great.
Do you think that people can't get jobs?
I think it's just walking through.
It's got a job.
It's actually,
and you can't get a job.
Yeah, exactly.
Why can't you get a dog's got a job?
Transporting aspirin from department to department. You think it's just walking around willy-nilly?
It's not.
Because I'm dog prejudiced.
It's got a job.
It's got a job. Leave it alone.
Leave it alone, yeah.
Bastard.
It's got a drink problem and a job.
Yeah, it's got a mortgage to pay.
Yep.
And a second wife. Doesn't see his kids anymore.
No, it doesn't. No.
And there you are, judging it.
Walking through quarantine, and actually it's helping.
Yeah.
And that cat's got a job.
I was looking at me going, I belong here, mate. What are you fucking doing? hanging out with your
badge?
mates. Where's your badge?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did the gym and all that.
Yeah.
Pumped up.
Looking pumped,
I've
yeah?
got-
You feel good. You feel strong. You think you walk through quarantine
Yeah, well,
with
you
your
get
human
this.
face.
Yeah. You're more susceptible to this than I am.
Yeah, exactly. He was
Yeah.
going, go on then, mate.
Yeah.
I can't get malaria.
Yeah.
I'm a fucking dog. Good luck to you.
Yeah.
And off he pots.
Yeah. Yeah. As was monkey to man, backwards we're going.
Yeah.
I think, funny that dogs can get jobs though. I mean, where does that money go? If the dog's got a job, like a blind dog, I actually, when I was a kid, thought the dog was blind. When they say blind dog, and then I thought, they're saying got to work. Don't give him a blind dog. Bloody hell. So you go down the road, there's just a man and a dog standing at the side of the road all day long.
And you're like, who's going to help these?
The dog
These two
and
of
the
them,
man are blind.
They need help.
Yeah.
They've stuck them together as mates so they can be in the dilemma together.
This is true. In Norwich, as I was walking around before trying to get rid of sun, I saw a piece of graffiti that said, I think dogs should be allowed to vote. So this is obviously a Norwich mindset.
Thing. Yeah, we
man.
put our dogs up on a
Yeah, you
pedestal.
don't have like humans. You don't have that sick
Nope.
anthropomorphic hierarchy.
Nope.
You got dogs, man.
We love our dogs.
They have jobs and national insurance numbers.
And yeah, they do have national insurance numbers.
Yeah, I
They
don't.
can do. You insure your dog against what?
I don't know.
I just think it's weird you can insure anything, but do you know what I find weird? You can buy animals. You go into a pet shop and you're buying a thing. It's like going in, I'm just going to pop in there and buy a mate. You don't like, you know what I mean? I've got John, I'll have a John. You can buy a living thing. Don't you find that weird?
It is weird, but I know that Norwich is struggling with unemployment and that people want jobs and they're nice people. Like Norwich is really friendly. Why can't we sell people from Norwich to like people from London?
Oh, what, like a transfer, like football?
Kind of like, because people in London are kind of grumpy and lonely. And they
Yeah.
have like this cheerful, friendly Norwich. All right,
Yeah,
I'm your mate.
yeah.
And
You
they
can
come
sell me.
home and have a pint with him or her.
Or her.
I think this is a
Or
fucking
him,
winning
her.
idea.
Or fluent.
There could
fluid.
Be somebody fluid, if that's what you like.
If you like fluid, we've got plenty of fluid in Norfolk.
I'm always seeing the possibilities.
I think there's endless possibilities.
Welcome to Success4.
Yes. A lot of people helped us out with the quarantine word, which was very
Thank
kind
you.
of them.
Thank you.
So thank you. Richard Custom says, I think aliens should be allowed to vote. Aliens, I think I probably are. I think if anyone is not from this planet, Mr. Trump has to be top of the list.
Probably. I think we
Probably.
are the aliens. I mean, we are clearly the Anunnaki spawn.
I
of
think
this-
we'll
of
do it.
this
There's some
planet.
in
Yeah.
there was some messing about along the way.
Took
wasn't
a
there?
monkey. It's not
Yeah.
very bright. Needed to do some mining work for
And got a
us.
job.
Inject a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Bit of genetic mutation.
Hmm.
Massive brain suddenly grows.
Yeah.
Big head. Out you come.
Yeah.
Human.
Done.
Sort that out. Oh, we're done with you. We're fucking off. Oh,
Yeah.
Daddy, where have you gone?
What have you
Abandonment
done?
issues through the generations forevermore.
Done.
Thanks, Anunnaki.
Cheers, mate.
Pricks.
Yeah. And they're going to come back when we're all sorted.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
no,
Oh,
we
yeah.
did
Then
that-
they'll,
we
then
did it
they'll
on purpose.
fucking show up,
We
won't they?
left you on purpose because it was good for you. We wanted to see if you could survive on
Yeah.
your own. Well, we couldn't. Look
Yeah.
at the mess we've made.
A
We need people
bloody
like
mess.
Richard to help us
Yeah,
with our mental health issues. Don't
exactly.
we, Dan?
Everybody's struggling because of those fucking Anunnaki.
It left us on our own.
It's just not very. It's not very responsible what they did. I'm not, I'm not judging them, but do better next time, Anunnaki.
Yeah.
Do better.
Just at least stick around. Just drop us off at primary school for you.
Right.
Off?
Just leave us like an instruction manual.
Yeah. That.
Maybe they did.
Maybe they did. A pop-up one. Let's have a look at this. GL, are you casually pimping out people from Norwich? Casually,
Professionally, I would think. This is Success4.
I think we're not doing things by halves.
No, we're doing it. We're going to do it righteously.
We're going to have lists.
We're going to have lists. It would be a good price as well. I mean, like, what's the value of a friend? I mean, it's pretty high value.
Exactly.
And nice people. You're in London, busy day, bad
People
job,
haven't got
come
time
home.
for you. You've
You
got
want to play?
Norfolk.
You go Norfolk.
Dial in Norfolk.
Dial in Norfolk.
Yeah.
Play PlayStation.
Yep.
Have a pint.
Mhm.
Chat. Done.
Done. Bed.
Great stuff.
Cup
Bed.
of tea in the morning.
Cuddle.
Scrambled eggs.
Mm.
Cuddle.
Mm.
We'll even do your gardening for you.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you've got one.
You've got
I mean,
a rake. We'll use that.
If you've got a rake.
Yep.
If you've got a rake. Well, you're farming people, so
Farming people.
yeah,
That's what
you
I'm saying.
could
Yeah.
possibly. I mean, you couldn't do that with Scousers.
What would they do if you put a Scouser
They would impregnate you, for one.
Okay. And what are the what are the bad bits?
Where's the downside?
I see no downsides here.
We would definitely impregnate you.
Yeah.
We definitely wouldn't stick around and pay child support. We'd probably rob the most expensive things in the house, violently threaten your neighbours, start smuggling guns, and run a little cocaine racket whilst you're out.
Yep.
Yeah. And then you come back, police everywhere, armed police no less. Bloody scousers. That's what you'd say.
So when would you want one? If you were in Norfolk and you needed one, what, just shake things up? Because it gets a bit boring here, to be fair.
Why would a Norfolk person want to scout? Nobody from Norfolk wants anyone from where I'm from. Good Lord. No, heavens no. What would you do with a ton of scousers in this place? It's beautiful farming country. We would be bored here. We would have naught to do.
You wouldn't have anything to do. No.
We would be fighting with cows, sheep, cattle.
Not dogs, they've got jobs.
The dogs have jobs.
Don't mess with their jobs.
Respect them. We respect them. Yeah. They're busy people. But the cows, if a cow looks at me,
they don't do anything.
I'm going to throw down.
Throw down, push one. Ever done a cow push? Done been cow tipping? No? Well, there's tonight's word.
Straight after work, we'll have a pint and go cow tipping.
Yeah. They fall asleep standing up.
They're almost asking for it. Just a little push.
Yeah, then leg it.
You can be killed by cows, right?
Not me.
No, not you. Not a skilled ninja as yourself. I believe it's theoretically possible to be stamped upon by
but they've got to get up. I mean, they're hard. I mean,
once that one's down, he's not going to stamp on you.
You don't push one when it's awake.
Yeah, no.
Could be dangerous. Wait for it sleeping. Standing, sleeping cows.
Standing, sleeping cows.
You can push them over and run away. I've never done it. But I'm not saying it's. I would like. I wouldn't. I'm not saying I'd like to see it done, but it does make me chuckle that it's happened in this world, and as much as we've evolved on this planet, someone doing that right now.
This is why the Anunnaki fucking left us.
Yeah.
Because people like you, they went, this is a failed experiment. Look at him pushing over cows. They were like, you are man. You may construct what you like. I want to push this cow over. I have a fucking laugh. They're like, do you?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go. We are messed up here. The dogs have got the jobs. He's over there, Kenneth, pushing that cow over. There's some things that you wonder, like how some things get invented. Like there must be accidents, like happy accidents, like the Snickers. He dropped his chocolate bar in the peanuts and he made Snickers.
I see. A happy accident like that time with the Snickers.
My friend once
an accident.
My friend once fell asleep at year 8 camp, and when he woke up from the heat, the Snickers bar stuck to his eye.
Oh, that story did not end the way I thought it would.
It was brilliant. One of the best days of ever. The best days of ever.
The best days of ever. This really is Hobbiton, isn't it?
We have actually got 289 people watching this.
Amazing.
That is amazing. Yep.
Changing the world.
We got changing the world. Rubbish by rubbish. Right, let's have a look at some questions. Sorry, guys, we've rambled on. Don't step in cow pie, Blue Crystal says. I think she means shite.
Shite. Lord of shite.
Margaret Bentley, local man killed by rabid cow. Filmed at 11 o'clock.
Could be.
Could be. You grab the camera. Danny. Got Danny in the corner. That's why he's our producer for the day. That's very important. Would you consider using call girls? Thomas asks.
Call girls?
That's what Thomas asked. Would you consider using call girls? I'm assuming that question's for you.
Not for you, because you are not a single man. I don't think so.
It depends what for.
Yeah, like
if you want to come around and just paint me a nice landscape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. There's various things around the house that I usually can't be bothered doing.
Shelving.
Any housework I can't really be bothered doing unless I'm distracted. So if they're going to come around and tell me a story whilst I did the dishes, maybe I would use them in that regard.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know. What else.
He didn't say specifically what for, because I think there's more to call girls than meets the eye.
There may be. I mean, who knows? It's a very broad term, isn't it?
It's the oldest profession. That's prostitution. Not the same thing, is it?
I don't.
Is it?
Call girls and prostitutes? I don't know.
Now, one you ring up.
Right.
It's like a takeout version of a prostitute. A call girl. You ring up and they deliver.
You take them out. People always say that prostitution is the oldest job in the world, but I suspect it's probably soldiering. It's either sex or death.
Death's not a job.
delivering murder.
Burying people.
Murder. Oh, that's another use for Scousers.
What?
Well, if you wanted to dispose of a body, you probably would know exactly
Oh,
how
they're
to do
handy. Yeah. That's good.
I've got Scouse mates who will say that this is an unfair, negative stereotyping of what people from the northwest of England are like. And I would say stereotypes exist for a reason.
You're getting some very strange questions on here, but I will repeat them because it's your channel.
Go on.
Would Richard consider gigolo work?
Is this asked by a man or by a woman?
It's very hard to tell. Tex used Tweety. I've seen that name before.
And is she hot? No.
Oh, well, I can't see a picture. There's just a T. Unless she's very skinny and got her arms out. Like this.
Like this. She's a very slim girl.
Yeah.
I think there's an element of what I do that is kind of like gigoloing.
Is it?
A little bit. There's
How?
There's the emotional intimacy and the support that you're really supposed to get from a proper intimate relationship that sometimes people just aren't getting. And that's what they were kind of using me for in coaching a little bit. And that was the side of the coaching that I didn't like.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons that stopped me from doing the coaching was that kind of thing. There is a little bit of a gigolo-y, prostitute-y element to it. It feels a little bit odd.
So, yeah, I would have never put those two things together. The work that you do and
it depends.
gigolo.
It depends on the intent with which the client is coming in. And
yeah, I never came with that intent.
No. So some clients that you get, it's they're not above board.
What do you mean by that?
They're just there's too much of a sort of a sexual overtone to the process. It's very common, very, very common. And I'm not talking about transference. I'm not talking about through the process, doing the work, you open up emotionally, and then you find yourself just having these feelings. I'm talking about people who've been watching you on YouTube and liking you for a while, and they think they can get a bit closer to you by buying some coaching sessions.
Melinda Mac-Cullen says this is stupid. I have to totally agree, Melinda. I'm not.
You're stupid. Yeah.
Yeah, but I totally agree with you. This is very stupid. This is what the world needs more stupid. Well, this is what I need more stupid. Hermit Elf asks, do you, both Richies, like John Wick? I'm not sure who John Wick is.
I have no idea who John Wick is.
I don't know. Do you know who John Wick is?
John Wick. I only know the film.
But probably made after him.
Oh, the film. Well, I like Keanu Reeves.
Oh, is he in?
He is the eponymously named character.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's a lot of violence
I
and
will
killing.
have a look. It's a lot of violence and killing.
Mm-hmm. It's all right.
Let's have a look. Layla says sex work is legal in Australia. It's the way it should be.
Right. Okay. I don't really have a strong opinion. I mean, when people say it's legal or illegal, in most countries in the world that I've been through, it's tolerated. So even if it's technically illegal, it tends to get tolerated about the same level as the countries in which it's legal. If somebody who was into that subject might say it's safer if it's legal, and I go, okay. If it makes people safer and it makes things more above board and keeps the criminals out, then make it legal.
I agree with that. Actually,
Consenting adults are doing stuff that doesn't harm anybody.
No. What's the difference between sleeping with someone and them giving you a fiver, and then giving you a fiver and then sleeping with someone?
I tried to use that logic with you last
actually.
time I was here, and you were having none of it.
I didn't need a fiver at the time, but I'm very skinned. Val Imveratus, I'm very sorry. Val Imvriotis asks, please discuss dementia in the spouse of a narc. That's actually interesting, because how do you know if you've got dementia if your spouse is a narcissist and maybe like it's a little bit like Misery?
Yeah,
when she moves stuff around the house. And that.
I don't know enough about dementia. Is dementia something that can be tested for with a physical?
Would you know if you had dementia if someone was just doing stuff and then confusing you on purpose?
If you were being deliberately confused and your predominant emotional flashback style was freeze, in which case you dissociate and then you can't remember anything. It's very, very common for people who've been narcissistically abused to not remember. Is not remembering one of the most common symptoms for red flagging dementia? I don't know. I suspect. I mean, as far as I'm aware, it is. But I don't know enough about dementia.
I think it's a really important thing, because I know from my own experience there was a lot of confusion, a hell of a lot, because when you've got 12 people around you telling you, I was actually going through cognitive analytical therapy at the time, and that made me realize that I was being completely manipulated.
Yeah.
Which was a backfired on this person because they wanted to make me go in the first place. And
Right.
wrong with me.
Oh, she asked you to go to therapy?
Yeah, she took me to Helston Hospital, where
it's a thing that they like to do.
I had really anything wrong with me, to be honest, but apparently I was the one who was ill. But the cat therapy actually really helped.
Right.
Made me realise I need to put more boundaries up. But what it made me realise is also I was saying yes when I should have said no a lot of times, and then getting angry about it.
Right.
And then going out, maybe having a binge drink, and then getting angry, then feeling bad because I've done that. And I was just in this loop of people pleasing, just pleasing behaviour. It felt wrong for me, but I was also saying yes when I should have said no. Then I was getting annoyed about it because I wasn't getting the reciprocation of doing a good thing I wanted. Then you do something that annoys them, which is perfectly normal, and then you were getting told off as well. So you're in this loop of just people pleasing and loops of and it was just confusing because there was other people getting involved as well in the pointing fingers game. So I think that's a very good point, is that people, they can make you feel like you're going crazy.
Well, I think that you just made a very good point, and I hope that people who are fawning, enabling, people-pleasing codependence wind that back and listen to it again, because it is a really, really good point, and that's what we do. We say yes when we should be saying no, and then we're angry and resentful for overgiving and saying yes when we shouldn't have done, and when we're not getting the reciprocation that we expect. And that anger and that resentment triggers all kinds of other emotional flashbacks as well, and can lead to a lot of self-blame and self-loathing, because you're like, well, I'm just an angry, bitter, resentful person, when actually what's going on is much, much deeper than that. But it's a quite deliberate effort to screw with your sense of reality and to make you feel insecure and not confident about who you are and what's going on. It's very, very deliberate thing that's done to victims to keep them in a submissive state.
Yeah, it's very, very damaging as well.
Hugely.
Incredibly damaging, especially when you don't know what's going on and didn't know. And I think like work like yourself, Chris Godinez, many others out there that do help people really understand that this is actually a almost like a blueprint for a personality. This happens a lot.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
It's bizarre. And it can be, I mean, is there like a 1 in 10 people might have personality disorders?
They say with narcissistic personality disorder, the figure that's usually cited is 1 in 100.
Okay.
But you know, Dana Morningstar, who runs Thrive After Abuse, I think she works in the medical institution in the state of New York, and one of the points that she made is, well, that's 1 in 100 people. That's who showed up to be analyzed. So you can probably assume it's more like 3 to maybe 5 in 100. Because most of them just won't show up. They're not going to show up to therapy and go, oh, please analyze me, please test me, let's see if I have MPD. So it's not a huge number, but say it's 3 in 100. You know, if you have like 30 million people around, or 9 million people as you do in London, it's thousands and thousands and thousands of people who are neurotically focused on being predators throughout their entire lives, and there is nothing else for them but predating on others. So it's still a lot. So those few people can cause a hell of a lot of chaos, and they do, which is why the world looks the way it does today. It's run predominantly and it's shaped predominantly by the personality disordered, which is why the world is uncomfortable and generally unpleasant to be in, because it's not created for the benefit of humans by humans.
Yeah.
It's created for the benefit of predatory reptiles who want to drink the milkshake of warm-blooded mammals.
I've said it's Melinda who said that is stupid. It was taken out of context when I read it, so I apologise. She said the stupid remark was taken out of context. I was referring to a comment in the chat, not our chat. And Richard has in a way saved my life. Please correct that. So she wasn't saying that we were stupid. She said that they were having a comment.
I didn't really think you were saying that we were stupid. I just I'm silly.
I have no idea what's going on. Let's have a look here.
I sometimes pretend to misunderstand people because I'm naughty.
All right.
Yeah. Do one more question?
So one more question, guys. So
I'm starving. This use of my brain has really.
25. So, guys, thank you for watching. We've had 299 people.
Oh, that's lovely.
So that's very good. Thank you for watching. And we will be on at 8 p.m. this evening with a more sensible question
very sensible.
about narcissism and personality disorders. So we were trying, I think, maybe getting this out of our system right
Yeah,
now.
we'll get it out.
Yeah.
All the skillets on the willets. That's what we needed. We need it out of the system so we can be good boys.
Did you know my great great grand? You wouldn't know this. I don't know why would you know this. My great great granddad came up with the concept of the clocks going back. What's it called? Daylight saving time. I don't know why.
You're fucking joking.
No, he did.
It is for the benefit of farmers.
Yeah.
Is he a farmer? Was he?
I believe he was. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think he was quite like.
It's your great great grandfather.
My great great grandfather.
Do you know how annoying daylight saving time is?
Yeah, I do. I'm very sorry about that.
Is it on your paternal side? Is it a Willet?
Yes, it's just my dad's great great granddad. So it's my great 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 granddad.
Your great 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 granddad. Do you know his first name?
William
Willett.
I think it is.
Billy Willett came up with daylight savings time for the benefit of the farmers of Norfolk, so that they could get up and milk their cows. You don't talk like that.
Well, no, actually, the benefit wasn't because it was less chance of their cars getting pushed over the night because the night was shorter.
They were just sick of idiots.
Sick of just idiots pushing my cows over.
So they said, let's shorten these nights. They're from Devon now.
Shorten these nights, boy.
That's actually really, really interesting.
Yeah, shorten these nights because they keep pushing my cows over.
Dirty.
And we lost 6 last week.
Bastards shoving over my cows.
Like cow dominoes, it was.
Like cow dominoes.
One after another. God knows where they stand up in a line. Couldn't have learned by now.
That's actually really interesting. I like that.
So Tex, you tweeted, said, so tonight is the serious discussion, and yes, it will be more serious.
It'll be more serious. I mean, if people want to
funny
ask
little bits, but you can ask that. Yeah. But it'll be more serious.
We won't go on at length about the
cow pushing.
Length.
Yeah. So guys, pop on at 8 p.m. for Richard's live, and it will be more serious. And you can ask questions about personality disorders. There you go. You go to camera. You introduce it. You'll know more.
Oh,
it's your channel, not mine.
Oh, this is. Dementia has set in. Post-narcissistic abuse induced dementia. So yes, tonight at 8 o'clock UK times, which will be 5 o'clock New York and 12 o'clock LA time. We're doing a live Q&A in the other studio in the other room, and we'll go for like an hour and a quarter, and you can ask whatever you want, and we'll sort you out, and it'll be a little bit more sensible and structured than this was. But I like doing it stupid.
I like doing it stupid, but they're not tuning in to see me. I'm just getting in the way. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
How do I stop it?
I've been asking that question my whole life.
Oh, wait a minute.
How do I switch it off?